For 3 standard cycles, my primary contact with asset Sterling returned a 404 error. Connection failed. His wife, subassociada her, usual data stream of quiet, thoughtful updates went dark a full 7 days prior. You're told you can't fool a mother's heart. I used to think it was sentiment. I was wrong. It's an advanced, biological early warning system. A silent alarm began pulsing beneath my ribs. A cold, dense knot of dread that overrode every logical protocol. I am, by design, a planner. My empire, Vance Logistics, was built on predicting chaos and rooting around it. Spontaneity is operational waste. Yet, there I was at O'Hare, buying a one-way ticket to an unknown battlefield. My meticulously crafted calendar for the next month dissolving into a in my tote bag, 2 jars of homemade elderberry preserves Sterling's childhood comfort algorithm, a chemical trigger for nostalgia, and a plush teddy bear. An irrational payload for Veda. Her voice on our last call had been fractured, thin, a corrupted audio file of a person. The bear was a primitive attempt to transmit a signal of safety my words had failed to convey. The flight was a void. Teehee southern city that greeted me was a humid, heavy blanket compared to Chicago's sharp wind. The Uber navigated to the historic pre-war condo, a beautiful, stalwart structure I'd acquired 3 years prior. My intention was optimization, to provide a stable, elegant base of operations so their lives could flourish, unimpeded by the financial friction I'd endured. It was my foundational gift, my first and most catastrophic strategic error. The first indicator of critical failure was the door. It stood ajar by 1.8 inches. Not forced, but failed to secure. A symptom of a system in panicked retreat or utter indifference. I initiated entry. The environmental data was damning. Olfactory sensors were overwhelmed. The dominant scent profile was not Vada's peach cobbler or clean linen, but a complex cocktail of stale Nicosia tabacum, contradicting Sterling's sworn cessation report and the vinegar tang of ethanol. In post-metabolic decay, wine left to sour. Visual scan revealed high traffic disarray. One boot upright. Its partner kicked against a coat rack, leaving a dark scuff on the cream wallpaper like a graffiti of neglect. The kitchen was the epicenter. A stratigraphic record of decay piled on the table, unwashed ceramic and polymer ware, desiccated carbohydrate remnants, empty bottles of expensive cognac, a brand I recognized from my own cabinet, a data point that sparked a cold fury. And beside this monument to entropy, a stack of unopened utility bills. Pink, white, silent paper screams. But the conclusive evidence was small, dusty, and sat neatly to the side. A pharmaceutical package. Prescribed to Veda Jefferson 6 months prior for hypertensive and cardiac regulation. The seal across the bottle's mouth was pristine, unbroken. A fine layer of dust, approximately 0.5 millimeters, had settled on the box. This wasn't a forgotten refill. This was a deliberate, sustained withholding of a vital resource. He wasn't just ignoring her. He was disarming her, one pill at a time. Who are you looking for? The voice was a rasp from the doorway. A neighbor, an elderly woman in a faded floral housecoat, her eyes holding a library of other people's tragedies. "I'm Sterling's mother. Where are they?" She pursed her lips, a gesture of weary pity. "Your boy, out running the streets, I reckon. But your girl, the ambulance took her 2-3 days back, carried her out on a stretcher. Didn't look conscious, thin as a shadow. The floor didn't drop. The context shifted. The condo was no longer a home but a crime scene. The hospital was now the only relevant destination. City General Hospitals was a monument to human crisis. I became a single-minded algorithm, plowing through the chaos until I extracted the necessary data. Jefferson, Veda, ICU. Dr. Dubois was a man whose eyes had seen too many system failures. He removed his glasses. A slow, deliberate gesture. Pneumonia. Bilateral. Advanced, but that's the secondary condition. The primary condition is exhaustion. The body has been consuming itself. She is severely dehydrated and malnourished. Data suggests she hadn't ingested adequate nutrients for approximately 2 weeks and lay with a 104-degree fever for 5 days without intervention. His words were not descriptions. They were indictments. Didn't eat, didn't drink, lay alone. Each one a stone dropped into the well of my soul, measuring its depth. Vada, in the ICU, was a ghost in the machine. Tubes and wires formed a modern cage. Her face was a stark topography of bone against pillow. She was being translated from solid to ethereal, a process of disappearance my son had overseen. I needed air that wasn't filtered through grief and antiseptic. I stumbled to the hospital steps, and that's when I observed the parasite in its natural state. The sound arrived first, a bone-deep bass throb that vibrated in my teeth. Then the vehicle, a massive midnight blue SUV, its paint a liquid mirror under the streetlights. My vehicle, the safest in its class, purchased for the future kids. It roared around the corner, windows down, exuding a cloud of sonic aggression and the smell of burnt rubber. At the wheel, Sterling had thrown back in a laugh, shouting to his passengers, 2 young women, limbs dangling out the windows, shrieking into the night. A perfect tableau of callous, imperial joy. The car didn't slow. His gaze never flickered toward the fortress of sickness where his wife was tethered to a ventilator. He was a king surveying his kingdom, and his kingdom was pleasure. My phone vibrated. A text illuminated the screen. His first communication in days. Sterling. "Hey Ma, can't talk. I'm at the hospital with Veda right now. It's really serious. The doctors are fighting." I haven't left her side. Pray for us. The cognitive dissonance was absolute. The chasm between the observable truth and the transmitted narrative was not a lie. It was a worldview. In that crystalline, silent moment, something did not break. It snapped into alignment. The mother subroutine was not deleted. It was forcibly compartmentalized, quarantined behind a wall of glacial clarity. A new primary directive booted up, terminal accountability. Screaming is the weapon of the weak. It is an admission of pain, a loss of control. I felt no more pain. I felt the cold, clean efficiency of a system administrator facing a hostile takeover. The vehicle's title was in my name. His use was a privilege granted by my silent consent. That consent was now permanently revoked. I opened a secure line to 911. Good evening. I want to report a stolen vehicle. My voice was flat, each word a calibrated weight. I provided make, model, plate. I just witnessed it moving at high speed down MLK Drive. The driver is operating aggressively and appears chemically impaired. Passenger safety is potentially compromised. I was not a hysterical mother. I was a citizen reporting a dangerous anomaly. The dispatcher logged it. Patrol vectors were calculated. The trap was set. The car was a toy. The condo was the stronghold. I contacted my oldest ally, Odora. Her voice was sleep-rough but instantly alert. Odora, draft a deed of gift for the condo. Execute it tonight. Transferring to Sterling. No. To Vada Jefferson. The silence on the line was profound. Odora had known me through boardroom coups and personal wars. This tonal shift signaled an extinctional level event. Oilia, are you sure? I have never been more certain. Have it ready by 8 a.m. 20 minutes later, the callback. Officer Bradshaw, we've detained a Sterling Vance. He claims you gave him the car. Is that true? I took a breath, infused with the sterile scent of Veda's suffering. Officer, my son is in the ICU of City General, holding his dying wife's hand. He hasn't left her side. The man you have is a liar. The pause was the sound of a narrative being rewritten in an official log. Understood, Miss Vance. We'll proceed accordingly. Grand Theft Auto. Resisting arrest. The first anchor line had been severed. For the next 48 hours, I maintained a vigil at Vada's bedside. I hired a private nurse. I spoke to her of autumn leaves and future pies, flooding the silent room with the sound of a future she was meant to have. Meanwhile, my phone lit up like a control panel under attack. Unknown numbers from the county jail. He used his calls not for a lawyer, but for me. I let each one ring out. His voicemails were masterpieces of narcissistic injury. Mama, are you out of your mind? Bring the papers. Tell them it's a mistake. I'm sitting here with bums. Not a single query about Vada. His universe had contracted to the borders of his own inconvenience. I needed her ID. Returning to the condo was like re-entering a tomb. In their bedroom, beneath a stack of linens, I found her diary. Not a journal, a ledger. March 12th. He needed $400 for a shirt for a partner meeting. I gave him my last savings for the dentist. My tooth throbs all night now. April 20th. He screamed, said the apartment is his, that his mother just lets me stay. Said if I nag about a job, he'll kick me out. I have nowhere to go. I must be quieter. May 5th. He sold Grandma's ring. I saw the pawn ticket. He bought a watch You don't need jewelry sitting at home. I need to look the part. This was not impulsive cruelty. It was a systematic campaign, a calculated drip-by-drip erosion of her financial autonomy, her security, her connection to family, her very sense of self-worth. He wasn't just a spoiled son. He was a domestic terrorist. And her love was the territory he was in. Back in the ICU, as dawn bleached the sky, her fingers twitched in mine, her eyes opened, clouded with morphine, and a terror so deep it was cellular. "Don't let him in," she rasped, her voice the sound of dry leaves scattering. "Who, honey?" Her grip tightened, a startling burst of strength. "Sterling." He turned off the heat, said it was expensive. "I'm cold. Don't let him in." The heart monitor spiked, screaming her panic into the quiet room. The final piece of evidence locked into place. He hadn't just withheld medicine. He had weaponized the environment. In the depths of winter, he had made her home a refrigerated box, valuing a few dollars on a utility bill over her basic survival. This was beyond neglect. This was a slow, deliberate act of attempted murder by environmental control. The trial was over. The verdict was in. All that remained was the sentencing. Odorous office smelled of old law books and sharp ambition. I signed the deed with a hand that did not tremble. Each stroke of the pen, a surgical cut severing Sterling from his stolen kingdom. Then Odora presented the Coupe de Guiard. While pulling the title, she said, sliding a blue folder across the desk, "I found this." Sterling applied to a predatory loan operation. As collateral, he provided a forged power of attorney from you for the condo. I examined the document. The forgery was good, not perfect. Tihi tail of Mayo was a millimeter too long. He wasn't just planning to inherit after her death. He was actively trying to sell the roof from over her comatose head to cover gambling debts. The apartment, my ultimate gift of security, was to be her final, unwitting sacrifice on the altar of his addiction. The parasite wasn't just feeding. It was preparing to consume the host and sell the empty husk. From Udora's office, I called the dealership. "Alex, the Escalade at the police impound. Pick it up, sell it today. Whatever the wholesale bid. Transfer every cent to City General's charity fund. Earmark it for the treatment and rehabilitation of Veda Jefferson. But, Miss Vance, you'll take a massive loss." "I don't care about the loss. I care about the reallocation. Execute." Sterling was now asset negative. He just didn't know it yet. He found me in the hospital lobby 2 days later. A storm of righteous indignation, dressed in wrinkled designer clothes. "Mama, what did you do?" "They kept me in a tank." "Give me my keys." I looked at him. This stranger with my father's chin. "Hello, Sterling, you smell." "The car is sold. The apartment is Vada's. You have been deregistered." The playbook unfolded predictably. Denaya, bluster Vada. "We'll fix this." A frantic physical rush toward the ice where a private security guard, a wall of a man, ID hired, intercepted him with a single, immovable hand. Unauthorized entry prohibited. Witnessing his physical expulsion from her space was a visceral satisfaction. Then came the performance. The collapse to his knees, the tears, the confession of debts, the plea to his blood. It was a skilled manipulation, an emotional deduce attack meant to overwhelm my logic with guilt. I showed him the deed. I showed him my new will, leaving everything to a shelter for cats. They are at least grateful, I said. They don't turn off the heat. The mask finally shattered, revealing the snarling core beneath. You viper, you're not a mother. I hope you die with her. The feeling is mutual, I said, my voice level. Now leave before security escorts you out. He fled, not in surrender, but in a desperate scramble to salvage something from the burning wreckage. He ran to the condo. Odora, the locksmiths, and two very bored police officers were waiting. His key failed. His belongings were in trash bags. On the landing, his frantic calls to his crew went to voicemail. His supplemental credit card was confiscated by an ATM. By nightfall, he was a man standing on a cold street with two garbage bags and a suspended driver's license, erased from the life he had parasitized. The healing was slow. Veda's recovery was a grueling recalibration of body and spirit. But she did recover. We repainted the condo. We burned the old wallpaper. We exorcised the memory with light and color. She calls me Mom now. She works restoring rare books, finding wholeness in repairing fragile, beautiful things. I sold my company. I bought a small studio nearby. We have built a new, quieter, honest alliance. I saw him once, months later, through the steam of a car wash. He was a thin, stooped figure in a soaked uniform, scrubbing with a frantic, fearful energy. Our eyes met across the pavement. His held only a hollow exhaustion. He took half a step, his mouth forming a silent wordma. I did not stop. I did not slow. My gaze passed over him as it would a stranger, and I continued my walk to the bakery, where I was to buy cinnamon rolls for my daughter. A final text attempted to penetrate the silence. Ma, please. I can't take it. Just $10 for food. A chance. I reviewed the log. I had given him a lifetime of chances. He had spent them all. I selected block contact. The connection was terminated. The system was secure. So, I present the case to you, the jury. Was the response a necessary scorched earth policy, or a cruel overcorrection? When does protection become punishment? Does the source of the threat your own child change the calculus of defense? The comment section is your deliberation room. State your city. State your verdict. If this audit of a family's collapse held meaning for you, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, share this truth. There are more hard case files to come. Until then.